Morning YouTube. Now in this video today, something I found out today which took me a little bit by surprise. So I normally use a Zettel card reader. I don't use it for every customer. Most of my customers pay by backs, but it is great for them few that don't, and then some people, they just want to pay cash. You know, it is what it is. You can't change it. But I had the card reader. I did a video on this a bit back. I grabbed the card reader, and it's not sponsored out, a few years ago, because I'd have it with just a couple of people where they always forgot cash, but they didn't want to pay by backs, and I got the feeling like they were trying to get out of pain, or they were dragging the, you know, there was, and when they do it a few times on a trot, you can't help but think it. So I got a card reader, and I'll be honest with you, it's like as if it caught them off guard, because they said, oh, I haven't had time to nip to the cash point yet. Oh, so you've still got your card with you? Yeah. Oh, it's all right, I've got a card machine. And it was like as if it surprised him. Now, he could be sounding like a bit underhand, but I got paid. And they never, you know, they either always had cash or they used a card reader. So it worked. Also, sometimes there's jobs that you do. Now, obviously, if you take a job on and you think you're not going to get paid before you even do a job, you shouldn't do the job. But there's times where you do the job and something just doesn't feel right, and you think, well, I don't want to wait for backs, even though that's what you agreed, or cash, you know, you just something, you know, and you'll go to you and they'll say, oh, me online banking's not well, I haven't got cash, you know, or whatever you agreed. Oh, it's all right, I've got the card reader here, and it works a treat. It's great. And obviously those are the two bad examples, but it works for me as well, because quite a few of my customers, they're elderly, they don't get out much, or they can't get out much, so it's a chore for them to go and get cash. It's a case of, it's much easier for them to have, you know, me come with a card reader, they can tap it, simple, done. So what the discovery is today, and I thought it's worth mentioning it, is you don't need a card reader to take card payments anymore. Well, you do, but I'll get on to it. So I use Zettel, not sponsored, not affiliated. I hate having to keep saying that. It makes it sound like, you know, big dick YouTube energy, but it isn't. But some people might ask. So Zettel, I have had it with the card reader is from Zettel. The software, this is why I'm pushing it and recommending it, is it's free to use. You just pay per transaction. I think it's like 1% or 1.5%, so it's not much really. I think it's 1.75%. So on a tenner, that's 17.5p. So, you know, it's virtually irrelevant. So what, you use the app and you pay per transaction, you're not paying a monthly fee. And what I noticed today when I used the app is it said tap to pay, and I was like, oh, it had a little Apple symbol. I thought, I've never seen that before. So I used it, and it went through the setup. It took about a couple of minutes to set it up. Well, you know, I was just talking to the customer, and it said, it's showing you what to do. It's got a little how to, and the customer holds the card horizontally on the iPhone, not the card reader, on the iPhone itself, and the payment went through. I was like, bloody hell. And I've used it 3 times today, and it's not been a problem. So I'm thinking it's worth mentioning to you guys, if you don't want to pay for a card reader, and you don't want to have one, like with me, I've cracked it and I keep dropping it and I forget to charge it, even though it doesn't use much electric. You know, there's always that time where I'll get to that, I'm like, I've not put charge in it. And I charge it twice a year, by the way, and it always happens on them 2 times. So I thought it's worth mentioning, because we all have an iPhone. Well, we all have a phone. Now, do Android do a version? I don't know, because I've not got an Android, I've got an iPhone. But for me, it's a 12 Pro. I think it, you know, I don't know if it's accepted on all iPhones, I'm unsure, but for me, it is, and it's worked fine. So I think it's worth mentioning it, because, like I said, it's another tool in the arsenal. It's something else that you've got at your disposal that you don't have to sort of worry about. You know, we all carry a phone. I think the same rules apply for contactless, so I think it's probably capped at a certain amount. But, you know, you could either use it every day and it'll save you some time and money, as in you're not having to go to the bank to pay money in, which is time. Or it can be for those, you know, things where you have to sort of use it, you know, when something's a bit unthingy or you've been dragging the feet. So I will leave a link for the Zettel app again. You know, there's probably others out there. That's just what I use. It's fairly idiot proof. I've managed to use it, and I'll put a link for the tap to pay through Apple if you want to read up more on it. But it is straightforward. So have a good day, guys. Keep on gardening.